My husband secretly took out a $50,000 loan in my name. Full story. My husband secretly took out a $50,000 loan in my name. I only found out when a debt collector called me at work, and he still thinks I'm being dramatic for considering divorce. I'm a 31-year-old woman named Emily Carter. My husband is 33 and his name is Jake Carter. We've been married for almost 5 years and live in a small house in Aurora, Colorado, just outside of Denver. On paper, we looked like a stable, boring millennial couple. 2 full-time jobs, a small mortgage, 1 car, 1 dog, a joint checking account at Rocky Ridge Bank, and a color-coded Google Calendar. We weren't rich, but we paid our bills on time, had a little emergency fund, and were slowly saving for kids. I thought we were on the same team. If you'd asked me a year ago, I would have said our biggest issues were the normal stuff, chores, in-laws whose turn it is to cook. I never would have said financial betrayal. That phrase lived in scary Reddit posts and Lifetime movies, not my life. Then I got the phone call. It was a Tuesday afternoon in March 2025. I'm a dental hygienist at a small clinic in downtown Denver, so my workday is scheduled down to the minute. I was on my lunch break, sitting in the tiny staff room scrolling through my phone, when a number with a 303 area code popped up. Normally I ignore unknown callers, but something in me decided to pick up. "Hello," I said. "Hi, is this Emily Carter?" a man asked. His tone was a little too cheerful. "Yes, this is she," I answered. "This is Mark Lewis from Silver Oak Financial Services," he said. "I'm calling about your personal loan account ending in 4-17-9. We've attempted to reach you several times by mail. I'm just following up on your missed payment." My stomach dropped. "I'm sorry," I said. "You must have the wrong person. I don't have a personal loan." There was a pause, the sound of typing. "Is your address 2147 Maple Ridge Lane, Aurora, Colorado?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "And your date of birth is May 3rd, 1994? "Yes," I said slowly, feeling a cold prickle crawl up my spine. "Then I have the right person," he said. "You opened a $50,000 personal loan with us in June 2024. You've been making payments on time up until last month. We've now missed 2 payments and the account is past due. I just wanted to confirm if there was an issue with your bank, or if you needed to set up a payment arrangement." I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. "I did not open a loan," I said. My voice came out thin. "I have no idea what you're talking about." He read off the application details. My full name, Emily Rose Carter. My social security number. My employer, Cherry Creek Dental Clinic. Our address. Our joint bank, Rocky Ridge Bank, as the payment source. I kept repeating, "That's my information, but I didn't sign anything." Eventually he said, "If you believe this is fraud, you'll need to file a dispute and possibly a police report. I can email you the documents we have on file so you can review them." I gave him my personal Gmail address with shaking hands, ended the call, and just sat there in the break room staring at the wall. Then I texted my husband. "Call me ASAP. Emergency." Jake didn't respond right away, which is normal. He works in warehouse logistics at a distribution center near Aurora Mall and can't always have his phone. I checked my email. There were 2 new messages from Silver Oak with PDF attachments. I opened the first one and felt my pulse in my ears. It was the loan agreement. My name, my info, my social security number, my address. The signature at the bottom looked like mine at first glance. Same general swirl, same slanted letters. But when I zoomed in, it was wrong. The loop on the E in Emily, the way the T in Carter crossed too high. Close enough that a stranger wouldn't notice. But I knew my own signature. There was also a field for authorized bank account for automatic payments. It was our joint checking account at Rocky Ridge, the same one we used for our mortgage, utilities, and groceries. I scrolled down and saw a section for a cosigner. It was blank. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set my phone down. At first, my brain jumped to strangers, identity theft, hacked data, some random scammer. I tried to convince myself that's what it was. But who else had all of my personal information, access to our joint bank account, and copies of my signature from documents at home? Only one person. My phone buzzed. Jake was calling back. I answered on the first ring. "Hey babe, what's up?" he said, sounding normal and a little out of breath. "There's a $50,000 loan in my name," I said without greeting. "Did you do it?" There was a pause. A long one. Finally he said, "Can we talk about this at home?" My heart sank. "So it was you," I said. I could hear my voice rising. "You opened a loan in my name and didn't tell me?" "It's not what you think," he said quickly. "I was going to tell you. I just needed to handle some stuff first." "I have to go back to work," I said, my hands still shaking. "We are talking tonight, and you better have a very good explanation." I hung up before he could say anything else. The rest of my shift was a blur. I smiled and made small talk with patience while my brain screamed. I kept seeing that number, $50,000. What could he possibly need that much money for that he couldn't tell me? Gambling? Drugs? Another woman? A secret kid? The possibilities chased each other around my skull like wasps. When I finally drove home to Maple Ridge Lane, my stomach was in knots. Jake was sitting at the kitchen table, still in his gray work shirt with Jake stitched on the pocket. He looked pale and guilty. On the table in front of him were a stack of papers and his laptop. "I'm glad you're home," he said softly. "Sit down, please." I didn't sit. I dropped my bag by the counter, crossed my arms and said, "Explain." He took a deep breath. "Okay," he said. "First of all, I'm sorry. I messed up. I know I should have told you. I was trying to fix things without stressing you out." "Fix what?" I demanded. "By committing fraud?" He winced. "It's not fraud if I'm your husband," he said weakly. "We share assets. We're married. It's our money. It's fraud if you forged my signature and opened debt in my name without my consent," I snapped. "That's literally the definition." He ran both hands through his hair and stared at the table. "Do you remember when my truck broke down last year on a 225? He asked. "The transmission went out. The repairs were way more than we expected. And then my hours got cut at work for a few months. We were behind on some bills. I was behind on my credit cards. It was bad." I did remember. It was October 2023. We had one ugly month of juggling payments, but I thought we'd handled it. We tightened the budget, paused streaming services, didn't eat out, and caught up. "I thought we were okay now," I said. "We are," he said quickly. "We will be. That's what the loan was for. To consolidate my debts, fix my credit, and keep everything from spiraling. I didn't want you to panic." "So you opened a massive loan in my name?" I asked. "Why not yours?" He looked miserable. "My credit score was trashed," he admitted. "They wouldn't approve me for anything at a decent rate. Yours is perfect. You always pay on time. You're the responsible one." I stared at him. "So your solution," I said slowly, "to your bad financial choices was to secretly use MY credit to clean them up." "I was going to make all the payments," he said, "from my personal account. You weren't supposed to be affected. You weren't even going to know. It was just temporary until I caught up." "It's already affecting me," I said. "It's on my credit report. It's in my name. If you miss payments, I take the hit. If something happens to you, I'm on the hook. Do you get that?" He didn't answer. I finally sat down because my legs felt weak. "How much do you still owe?" I asked. He slid the papers toward me. "About $47,000, he said quietly. "I've only been paying the minimum." My stomach flipped. I scanned the payment history. He'd been making payments from our joint account for months, small ones, until January and February. Then nothing. Why did you stop paying? I asked. He hesitated again. I needed the money for something else, he said. What's something else? I demanded. He opened his laptop and turned it toward me. On the screen were photos of a garage full of tools and equipment. Welding machines, compressors, bright red tool chests, racks of parts. It looked like a small mechanic shop. You know how I've always wanted to start my own auto repair business, he said. I found this guy in Commerce City who was selling his shop equipment at a huge discount because he was retiring. It was a once-in-a-lifetime deal. I used some of the loan money as a down payment to rent a small space and buy the equipment. I've been working there on weekends trying to get clients. I blinked. You used a loan in my name, I said slowly, to secretly start a business, and then stopped paying the loan so you could keep funding the business? When you say it like that, it sounds bad, he said. It is bad, I snapped. It's insane. He raised his hands defensively. I'm doing this for us, he insisted. If it works, I can quit the warehouse, make more money, set my own hours. We'd be better off. I didn't want to get your hopes up if it failed. I wanted to show you something real first. Real like debt collectors calling me at Cherry Creek Dental? I asked. Real like a ruined credit score? He flinched. I was going to catch up on the payments, he muttered. I just fell a little behind. The shop had some slow weeks. Once it picks up. I cut him off. You forged my signature, I said, my voice shaking. You took out a huge loan with my SSN. You hid it for 9 months. You used our joint account for payments. You stopped paying without telling me. You put my financial future at risk for a gamble I never agreed to. This isn't just a little behind. This is financial abuse. He looked genuinely hurt at that word. Abuse, he repeated. Come on. I'm not hitting you. I'm not cheating on you. I'm just trying to build something. Abuse isn't only physical, I said. You lied. You manipulated. You used my trust and my good credit to fix your mess and fund your dream. That's not partnership. That's exploitation. We argued for hours. He kept saying things like, we're married, it's all our money anyway. And I would have paid it back. And you're blowing this out of proportion. I kept coming back to the same points. He didn't ask. He didn't tell me. He forged my name. He put everything in my risk column and called it ours. At one point he said, if you'd known, you would have said no. I said, exactly. After the initial storm, we sat in heavy silence at our Maple Ridge kitchen table. Finally, I said, I'm calling Silver Oak tomorrow. I'm reporting this as fraud. He snapped his head up. You can't do that, he said. They'll come after me. I could get charged. I could lose my job. You should have thought about that before you committed literal financial fraud, I said coldly. He got angry then. So what, you're going to send your husband to jail? He demanded. Over a loan that benefits both of us? Over a piece of paper? You're unbelievable. I felt tears sting my eyes. I'm going to protect myself, I said. Because clearly you won't. I slept in the guest room that night, listening to our dog scratching at the door, and wondering how my life had turned into a Reddit story. The next morning, I called the Silver Oak fraud department from my car in the parking lot before work. They walked me through the process. File a formal dispute, send copies of my ID, signature samples, and any proof that I didn't authorize the loan. They warned me it would be complicated because the information was correct, and the payments had been coming from our joint account. They also said I might need to file a police report with Aurora Police Department. The words police report made my stomach churn. When I told Jake, he looked terrified. Please don't involve the police, he said. I'm your husband. We can solve this between us. I'll sign anything saying I'm responsible for the loan. I'll take full responsibility. You already took responsibility, I said. That's not the issue. The issue is that my name is on it. That my credit is on the line. Do Do you understand what this could do to my ability to get another mortgage? Or a car? Or even a new job? He kept begging. He promised to get a second job, to work nights at the shop and weekends somewhere else, to give me access to every account, every password. He even said, if it makes you feel better, we can sign a postnup that says this loan is solely mine. The thing is, none of that undoes what he did. Over the next few days, I stayed at my older sister Hannah's apartment in Lakewood. I needed space to think without him standing in front of me looking guilty. Hannah works in corporate finance. When I told her, she was furious on my behalf. She said this was one of the worst breaches of financial trust she'd heard of outside of actual criminal cases. She encouraged me to follow through with the dispute and the police report. A part of me hesitated. If I filed a police report and pushed the fraud claim all the way, Jake could face real consequences. Legal, professional, financial. That would affect me too if we stayed together. And despite everything, I still loved him. I didn't marry a stranger. I married the guy who makes terrible dad jokes, who cried when our dog, Milo, had surgery, who danced with me in our empty living room the day we got the house keys. But I also couldn't shake the feeling that if I didn't set a hard line here, I'd be telling him, and myself, that my boundaries didn't matter. We met up a few days later to talk at Delaney Farm Park. He looked rough. Dark circles, messy hair, the works. He started with, I opened a separate account. All the business money goes there now. I'm meeting with a financial advisor next week. I put the shop lease solely in my name. I'm trying. I said, that's good, but it doesn't fix the loan. He swallowed. I know, he said. So here's what I'm offering. I'll sign a legal agreement taking full responsibility for it. I'll refinance it in my name only as soon as my credit improves enough, or as soon as the business has enough history to qualify. I'll show you every statement. I'll give you access to the business books. And I'll go to therapy. Financial therapy, couples therapy, regular therapy. Whatever. He looked genuinely desperate. I don't want to lose you over this, he said. I was stupid. I was scared. I wanted to prove I could be more than just some guy clocking in at the warehouse on Peoria Street. I didn't think it through. But I'm not a monster. Please don't treat me like I'm your enemy. I stared at the grass for a long moment. You became my enemy, I said quietly. The moment you chose your pride over my consent. He flinched. I'm sorry, he whispered. I believe he's sorry. I also know being sorry doesn't undo damage. Right now, this is where things stand. I've filed the initial dispute with Silver Oak, but haven't yet filed a formal police report. I told them I'm still gathering documentation. Jake has moved into his brother Ryan's spare room in Thornton for now. I'm in our house on Maple Ridge Lane with Milo. We've started couples therapy with a counselor in Denver. But I also have my own therapist because I needed someone in my corner who isn't trying to save the marriage at all costs. Jake is working extra shifts and, to his credit, has already made 2 more loan payments. I don't know yet if I'm going to stay married. Part of me thinks, if I divorce him now, I'll still be tangled in this debt situation while going through the pain of a breakup. Another part of me thinks, if I stay, I'm sending a message that he can cross enormous lines and talk his way back. I keep replaying one moment in my head. When I first confronted him on the phone and asked, "Did you do it?" He didn't say, "No, of course not." He said, "Can we talk about this at home?" He knew. And he hoped somehow that he could manage the fallout before I fully understood the depth of what he'd done. So, that's my story. My husband secretly took out a $50,000 loan in my name to cover his debts and fund a business, lied about it for 9 months, and only came clean when a debt collector exposed it. Now I'm stuck choosing between nuclear options: blow it up legally and protect myself completely, or try to patch the marriage and live with the risk that he might do something like this again. What would you do in my place? Would you report it as fraud and potentially ruin his life to protect your own? Or would you try to rebuild trust and work through it? Let me know what you think in the comments. I read them all. And if you like stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Reddit Story Vault for more Reddit drama, relationship chaos, and full stories just like this one.